All right, going on to number 6. There we go. All right, so we need to write the slope between these 2 points. So remember the formula. Do fraction bar, minus minus. Take one ordered pair, put the y over the x before the minus sign, then the other ordered pair after the minus sign, you put y over x. Okay, that'll give us the difference of the y's over the difference of the x's. And it doesn't matter which one you put first, 3 over 5 or 8 over negative 5. So in the numerator, 3 minus 8 is negative 5, and 5 minus negative 5 is 5 plus 5, right? So that'll give us a 10. And then we just reduce that fraction to negative 1/2. Okay, second problem is 4, negative 3, and 4, 3. So same idea. Take the first order pair, doesn't matter if you do the first or the second order pair, put the y over the x, and then take the second order pair, put the y over the x. And then you simplify the numerator and denominator. So negative 3 minus 3 is negative 6, and 4 minus 4 is 0, but that's undefined. So this one, slope is undefined. It's not a number. And that's because the x-coordinates are the same. So the equation of that line is x equals 4. It's a vertical line. And vertical lines have a slope that's undefined. So that's our answer for that one. All right, what about C? Don't leave your answer as negative 6 over 0. You have to say that the slope is undefined. How about 2, 5 and 1, 5? All right, so again, we'll take the first order pair and put y over the x. Then the second order pair, put the y over the x. And then we'll simplify the numerator. 5 minus 5 is 0. 2 minus 1 is 1. 0 divided by 1 is 0. So that's your answer, 0. The reason this happens when the y-coordinates are the same. So you might notice the y-coordinates are the same. The equation of that line is y equals 5. That's a horizontal line. And a horizontal line has a slope of 0. All right, going on to number 7, we're going to write the equation of the line in the form y equals mx plus b, given this information. So it says the slope is 1/4 and the y-intercept is negative 4. Remember, if you have x equals 0, then this is b. That is in for b here. So this one, there's no work to be shown. You put in 1/4 for the slope. This tells you that the slope is 1/4. And b equals negative 4. You just directly plug it in. 1/4 x minus 4, and you are done. Because I'm giving you the slope, I'm giving you the y-intercept. All right, what about 8? Here we've got the slope is negative 2/3, and it passes through negative 8, 6. There's different ways of doing this. One is to use the point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where negative 8, that is your x1, and 6, that is your y1. Okay? And then I know my slope, my m, is negative 2/3. So we're going to directly plug that in. Y minus my y1, so that's 6. I'm putting in for y1. I'm putting a negative 2/3 in for m. And I'm putting in negative 8 for x1. Now, if we just solve for y, we'll have it in the form we want. So I'm going to simplify the right-hand side first. Notice you have x minus and negative 8. That's the same as x plus 8. So if we do the distributive property, negative 2/3 times x plus, or actually I'm just going to write as minus, minus 2/3 times 8. right? Well, unfortunately, this doesn't cancel over here. We're going to get negative 16/3, but I'm also going to add 6 to both sides. So this is negative 2/3 x minus 16/3. Okay. And then when I plus 6, I'm going to get a common denominator of 3 over 3. So I could add like terms here. So this gives me y equals negative 2/3 x. That gives me minus 16/3 plus 18/3, which is y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2/3. That is one way to solve this problem. The other way to do it is you can find b by plugging in negative 8 for x and 6 for y. So I'm going to show you the other way. All right, so here's our problem. And we know y equals mx plus b is true, but what we have here is we have an m. We have something to put in for x, and we have something to put in for y. We're trying to find b. So we plug these values into y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to put in for y 6, for m negative 2/3, for x negative 8, which I'm going to write as negative 8 over 1, plus b, and now we solve for b. So I have 6 equals, nothing cancels, 16/3 plus b. Don't get that confused with a 6. So to solve for b, I'm going to subtract 16/3 from both sides. So I have 6 over 1 minus 16/3 equals b, and I'm going to get a common denominator. So I get 18/3 minus 16/3 equals b. So b is 2/3. But this, the problem said to write the equation of line in slope-intercept form. So now I know my slope, that's right here. Oops, didn't look good. Slope's negative 2/3, b is 2/3. So in other words, m is negative 2/3, b is 2/3. So to plug that in to y equals mx plus b, I have y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2/3. So if you use this method, you have to remember you're not done once you find b. You have to go back and write it in the equation. All right, last one. This time we're given 2 points the line passes through. So the problem is I don't know the slope. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is figure out the slope of that line. So remember how we do that? We take one ordered pair, put the y over the x, take the other ordered pair, put the y over the x, and then we simplify the numerator and denominator. 3 minus 10 is negative 7, 5 minus 3 is 2. So now I know the slope. The slope of the line is negative 7/2, and I've got 2 points. You only have to use one to figure out the line, and you do it the same way we did in the previous problem. And this is number 9. I forgot to put problem number. This is number 9. Okay, so I'm going to use it the first method, the y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So y minus, all right, remember, this is your x1, this is your y1, and this is your slope. That's what you're plugging in, m, x1, and y1. So for y1, I'm plugging in 3. For the slope, I'm plugging in negative 7/2. And for x1, I'm plugging in 5. So now we have to simplify this and solve for y. So I have y minus 3. Doing the distributive property over here, I have negative 7/2 x. All right, now if you distribute, think if this is 5 over 1, you're going to get plus 35/2. Because a negative times a negative will be positive. 7 times 5 is 35. You still have 2 times 1 in the denominator. But now I've got to add 3 to both sides. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and I need a common denominator. So I get y equals negative 7/2 x plus, and what do I have over here? 35 plus 6. So that's 41/2. Now the question is, are you sure that's the right line? Let's see. Go back up to the original. Oops, a little too far. Okay, so we're going to take these 2 points and make sure those are on that line. So we're going to look at the line here we got. There it is. Okay, so here were the 2 points that were, and the question is, are both of these points on this line? So let's just check one at a time. Let's move this one over here. And let's just do a little check. So if I say y equals negative 7/2 x plus 41/2, let's plug in 3 for x and 5 for y. So I'm plugging in 3 in place of y, and I'm plugging in 5 for x, and we're just going to see if we get the same number on both sides. So we're checking. So this is negative 35/2 plus 41/2, which is 6/2, which is 3, so it checks. So 5/3 is certainly on the line. Now let's see if 3/10 is on the line. So again, you start with the equation. We're going to plug in 10 for y and 3 for x. And the left side simplified, so we just need to work on the right side. That's negative 21/2 plus 41/2. Negative 21 plus 41 is 20, so it's 20/2 or 10. So yes. So that's the only way you're sure that the line you got really does include those original 2 points given. We could have also checked that negative 8/6 was on this line we got for the previous problem. So let's just do that. Check negative 8/6. Is it on y equals negative 2/3 x plus 2/3? Right, so let's see. We're plugging in 6 for y and negative 8 for x. And we want to simplify the right side. So that's 16/3 plus 2/3, which is 18/3, which is 6. So yes. So if you check it, then you're sure that you have the correct equation. Okay, number 10. For y equals negative 3x plus 5, state the slope of the line parallel to it and the slope of the line perpendicular to it. Right, so what's the slope of the parallel line? It's the same slope. So notice this original slope is negative 3. That is the slope of all the lines parallel, same exact slope. For the perpendicular slope, you're going to do negative the reciprocal, remember? So if this one's negative, you're going to change sign, so it's positive. You don't need to put a plus sign. And then the reciprocal of 3 is 1/3. Remember, if you multiply these two slopes, you should get 1. So a quick little check is negative 3 times 1/3 equal to negative 1? Yes.